Sophia's life came to a screeching halt after she gave birth to triplets with dark skin. She and her husband, Ethan, were known as the perfect couple in their community. Ethan, a soldier often away on deployment, had grown distant. Those separations created cracks in their relationship, but nothing could prepare Sophia for the devastation ahead. When the triplets were born, Ethan was in the delivery room. The joy on Sophia's face vanished when she saw Ethan freeze in shock. The baby's dark skin left him speechless. Without saying a word, he stormed out of the room, his expression filled with disbelief. Sophia lay there, exhausted and confused. She expected Ethan to return with understanding, but when he came back hours later, it wasn't to console her, it was to confront her. "You cheated on me, didn't you?" he accused, his voice trembling with fury. "What? Ethan, no, I would never..." She tried to explain, but he cut her off sharply. "Don't lie to me. Look at their skin, Sophia. They aren't mine." His tone was cold and final. Sophia stared at him, unable to comprehend how the man she loved could turn against her in her most vulnerable moment. Ethan stormed out again. This time, a nurse informed her that he was outside, throwing her belongings at the hospital entrance. Hospital staff abandoned their duties to watch the chaos unfold. Security guards tried to calm him down, but Ethan refused to listen. He tossed bag after bag onto the ground, shouting that Sophia was no longer welcome in his home. The following morning, Ethan returned with icy determination. "Don't come back to the house. Go to whoever fathered those children and let him take care of you." His words shattered any hope she had left. Sophia was left alone, with no husband, no home, and no answers. The triplets, innocent and oblivious, cried softly beside her as she sat in silence. She stared at their tiny faces, her heart heavy with sorrow and confusion. She couldn't understand how a white couple like them could have 3 black babies. It was a mystery she needed to solve. Desperate for help, Sophia called her mother, Margaret. The moment Margaret heard Sophia's trembling voice, she rushed to the hospital without hesitation. Margaret's calm presence was a comfort as she helped gather Sophia's belongings, which had been carelessly left at the hospital entrance. Together, they loaded the bags into her car and drove to Margaret's home. Margaret's house became a temporary refuge, offering Sophia a sense of safety after the chaos. Yet even within those safe walls, Sophia's mind raced. She replayed Ethan's accusations and the look of betrayal in his eyes. How had her life gone so wrong so quickly? She didn't know what the future held, but one thing was clear. She needed to find answers. Sophia woke up the next morning in her mother Margaret's home, surrounded by the soft cries of her triplets. She felt safe but weighed down by uncertainty. Ethan's accusations echoed in her mind. She hadn't just lost her husband, she'd lost her stability and the future she had envisioned. Margaret did her best to help. She cooked meals, cared for the triplets, and tried to reassure Sophia. Yet Sophia couldn't shake the overwhelming sense of helplessness. She watched her babies sleep and felt a deep sadness. She couldn't understand how a white couple like them could have 3 black babies. It was a mystery she needed to solve. One day, Margaret looked at her with determination. "Sophia, we need answers," she said. "You can't keep living in this doubt. Let's figure this out." Sophia hesitated but knew her mother was right. She decided to contact the hospital to review the birth records and DNA tests. Maybe there had been a mistake. It felt like a long shot, but she had to try. A week later, Sophia sat nervously in the hospital's small administrative office. Mrs. Phillips, the hospital administrator, entered with a file and sat across from her. "We've reviewed everything," she began. "The DNA confirms the babies are biologically yours and Ethan's." Sophia's heart raced. "That doesn't make sense," she said. "How is that possible?" Mrs. Phillips explained patiently. "Sometimes dormant genes from past generations can resurface. Has anyone in your family or Ethan's had African ancestry?" Sophia was stunned. Her family had no such history, but she realized she didn't know much about Ethan's family. He rarely spoke of them, and his mother had always been secretive about their past. Returning home, Sophia shared the hospital's findings with Margaret. "If this is true, the answer lies in Ethan's family," Margaret said. "You need to find out." Sophia began searching through old belongings, hoping for clues. In a forgotten box, she found a photo album Ethan had left behind. Among the faded pictures was one of a man with dark skin in a military uniform. Margaret gasped. "This could explain everything," she said. "But why wouldn't Ethan know about this?" "I don't think he does," Sophia replied. "His mother kept so many secrets." This revelation gave Sophia hope. If she could uncover the truth about Ethan's family, Maybe she could clear her name. But another fear lingered. What if Ethan didn't care about the truth? What if it didn't matter to him? Despite her doubts, Sophia resolved to uncover the past. It wasn't just about Ethan anymore. Her children deserved to know the truth about their heritage. With Margaret's help, she planned her next steps to dig deeper into Ethan's family history. Sophia spent days searching for more clues about Ethan's family. The photo of the dark-skinned man in a military uniform stayed fresh in her mind. Margaret encouraged her to dig deeper, and they eventually found an address for Ethan's uncle, Robert. Though Ethan had always distanced himself from his relatives, Sophia decided to visit him. "This is for the kids," Margaret reminded her. Leaving the triplets in Margaret's care, Sophia drove to Robert's small house in a quiet town. The porch was decorated with an old American flag and overgrown plants. When Robert opened the door, he looked surprised but let her in. His living room was filled with old photos, books, and military memorabilia. One photo caught Sophia's eye. It was the same man from the album. "That's my father," Robert said. "He served in World War II. Sophia hesitated but finally spoke. "I need to ask about your family's history. My children. They don't look like Ethan or me. The hospital confirmed they're ours, but their skin color doesn't make sense." Robert sighed and nodded. "My father was African American. He married a white woman during the war, but they kept it quiet. My brother, Ethan's father, looked white, so the family hid our heritage." Sophia's heart sank. "Does Ethan know?" she asked. "I doubt it," Robert said. "His parents never talked about it. They thought it was better that way." Sophia thanked him and drove home, her thoughts racing. When she told Margaret what she had learned, her mother nodded. "You have to tell Ethan," she said. "He deserves to know, even if it's hard." Sophia hesitated but decided to call him. To her surprise, Ethan answered. "What do you want?" he asked coldly. "I found out the truth about our children," Sophia said. "We need to talk." Ethan sighed. "Fine, meet me tomorrow." The next day they met at a park near his apartment. Sophia wasted no time explaining what she had learned. She showed him the photo of Robert's father, the man in the military uniform. Ethan stared at the picture in silence. "Why didn't anyone tell me this?" he finally muttered. "They thought they were protecting you," Sophia said. "But the truth matters, Ethan. Our children deserve to know where they come from." Ethan looked at her conflicted. For the first time, Sophia saw regret in his eyes. "I didn't know," he admitted quietly. "I thought—" He stopped, unable to finish. "You thought I betrayed you," Sophia said softly. "But I didn't." Ethan nodded slowly. "I need time to process this," he said. "But thank you for telling me." As he walked away, Sophia felt a sense of closure. She couldn't change the past, but she had uncovered the truth for herself and her children. Would you forgive someone who accused you unfairly, even after the truth was revealed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.